didn't see you. Well, either way, it's good that you're here because, well, I have a few, shall we say, updates to share with everyone here. So, now I have been absent from my various platforms for only became active recently. I've been absent from like various platforms because I didn't have photos, unless I conjured them out of thin air again. But generally speaking, I've been absent from most of my platforms for a while now, right? That's because I was working at the seaside and, well, I didn't have time when I was doing like 14-hour shifts and, well, since I was working 14-hour shifts, I didn't have time for, well, anything really. And that was quite a turbulent time as well, so yeah, I'll begin my rambling tale at the beginning so everyone can get promptly caught up with everything that's going on. So, first off, we begin at the first, at the beginning of the year. We all know what that is. So, beforehand, I had departed my prior job and remained in good relations with the owners and everything else. So even with good relations with the owners, I still was out of a job, and on the first, I figured, hey, might as well get a new one, right? So, and that's exactly what I did. I ended up in this absolute shithole, let's call it what it is, and part of the reason I'm wearing this, absolute shithole restaurant where this has nothing to do with nationality. Again, I don't want to sound xenophobic or something like that. Don't accuse me of anything like that. But yeah, the thing is, I don't care where you're from, what culture you do, etc. If you have workers, you have to pay your workers. Which isn't what they were doing, because we were expected to survive, get this, 3 months. 3 months on one paycheck. Yeah. That went about as well as you'd imagine, and soon enough I was essentially thrown out of my flat. And yeah, keep in mind at the time I had my kitty with me, so I had that to take care of as well. And as a result, I had to like run off and help my relatives out as much as I possibly could. Thank you so much. And I mean I can't stress how much thankful I am for my like family, relatives, and everything else. Again, and there's some issues we may not see eye to eye on, but family's family at the end of the day. So like the third month, and yes, I have a recording on the channel of the boss, an absolutely hilarious recording, but I'll get to that. But let's just say that it ended basically by me getting kicked out of my flat, having to drag my bags, multiple bags, might I add, not just the one I have right now, having to drag all my bags to my workplace, and when I raised a stink, or the fact that I wasn't paid, and that I was broke, like literally, because they didn't pay me for months on end, they gave me 500 kunas. Just for reference, that's like $90 on about, $90 to $100. Thing is, like, and I was told this is for a hotel. Do you know how much rooms cost? A grand and glorious $250. Yeah, they gave me 2 nights worth of funds for the rest of the month, and to pour salt on the wound. What happened was that the manager, aka he's the guy who's the manager whenever it suits him and whenever he doesn't want to do something boss that way. Yeah, that guy was like, well, you're living beyond your means. I'm living beyond my means because I couldn't afford to live 3 months on one paycheck, and when I opted to buy 1 pack of cigarettes, I'm living beyond my means. I don't care how fucking frugal you are, there's no chance in hell that you're gonna survive that. Regardless, back to the topic at hand. So I lounge around a bit and find a seasonal job. I wind up in one place, then go to another place and finish the season there. Sounds very straightforward. Except, again, it's one of those things where I have to preface the thing. I don't mean anything evil against the owners. That's why I'm keeping them anonymous. Because unlike the Biblos idiot, Like the place is called Biblos Food Zagreb. I'll put like a card in the corner. I'll put the card in the corner for that one or something, I don't know. I'll leave a link in the description with the conversation. But basically, once I arrived at the seaside, I was basically on the phone with the guy's wife all the time. And she was like, the bear's coming, the bear's coming, the bear's coming. Of course it is. Yeah. Keep in mind, eventually she got tired of it and put her son, keep in mind the kid's like 5, put her 5-year-old son on the phone, and he was like, you can't yell at me because I'm a child. I thought, who's mad here? I have to record this shit. And I probably did. And the following, what followed was several phone calls and interactions where I was basically saying that I would like my pay for the 2nd month in the 5th month, and so on and so forth. And then the bastard ended up giving 1 paycheck. However, he had to be a bastard till the very bloody end. Of course he did. Because otherwise he wouldn't be a bastard. And he ended the conversation on a nice little note when he was yelling, if I ever hear your voice ever again, you won't see a penny more. On Croat, of course. Again, link in the description for that video. And surprise, surprise, I did not see that penny. I know the runty little bastard's basically breaking every law and every law possible. I mean, the only thing he's probably paying is his taxes. But, okay, he's not paying his taxes because he's hiring illegal workers. Again, this is not to sound xenophobic, but he's literally paying illegal immigrants to work. But that means people who came from I've met people from Nepal, from like India, amongst other details, from Lebanon, because they're Lebanese, and part of the reason I'm wearing this outfit is a bit of spite because I found it and I like it. And I'll get to the secondary reason later. Anywho, basically they would hire these people, promise them a contract. The contract would never materialize, and they would say, oh, but you know, but we can pay you on hand. Of course. And then they basically let them go whenever they needed. Basically, the only people they paid was the belly dancer. Hence the reason I'm wearing this outfit, out of spite. And their social media marketing agent. Basically, the person who stands around doing nothing whilst the boss parades herself in front of various cameras. And calling out Biblos, and keep in mind there's several YouTubers that actually made videos. I remember there was this one guy that came and everyone was like, oh my god, a YouTuber is coming, a YouTuber is coming. So, the guy pops up, and it's like eating, and I'm watching this video, and I'm screaming, and I'm practically had to stop myself from screaming, what the fuck are you doing? Somehow, again, it's not kind of like, oh, he doesn't deserve it or something, but basically, somehow this guy gets tons of views, whilst the girl he was with, I'm pretty certain the only reason she was there with the camera is because she's blonde and looks good in a red dress, was basically flailing around the GoPro, was essentially doing this with a GoPro. I mean, you can see it. They didn't even, like, put auto exposure on. Let me show you, which I also forgot, but check this out. See? Just like this, exposure lock. They didn't do that. The difference is, I'm in a nice little room. Yes, the window's behind me, and I technically know this is a mistake. But, again, I'm in front of the camera. I don't need to see what's behind me. Not important. Basically, they left it rolling all over the place. And yeah. And it was like, ooh, the food's amazing. Of course it's amazing. No one gets paid to make it. Anywho, eventually the boss ended up basically having to run away from that place, whilst I still could. And only once I got to the seaside did I actually get my money. Or one paycheck, he still owes me like €1,000. No joke, this runty bastard still owes me €1,000, still hasn't paid me, and I have him literally have him on the phone threatening me to, well, not pay me. In addition to that, again, this is the entire restaurant's basically a pile of ineptitude. Because, like, the first day I showed up, the first thing you have to do for a registration to like register any kind of work. I was registered. You need the ID and the bank card, right? Your ID and your bank card. Guess what? They kept asking me for because they lost it up until like the 5th month. No joke, the 5th month they lost it somehow. Of course they did, And of course the guy kept stalling, and then the conversation was yelling that he's not gonna pay me. He did not, and here you go, you rusty little bastard. I have a nice little outfit for you. I mean, since they paid the belly dancer, I figured. And secondly, so eventually I found my way to the seaside and, well, got a job, at which point I kind of stopped rolling out content, photos and everything else. Granted, I got quite a bit more creative with my phone, which is the one I'm filming on right now. But otherwise, like practicing with like various like apps, photoshopping apps and whatnot, to like patch up old photos, make them look better and whatnot. Regardless, so now I'm officially finished, and once I was finished there, and eventually was finished there, but the boss said, once again, I'm not naming where for anonymity's sake, because the man actually does pay. He's just not on time. But basically, the guy will stick to his word, and I'll update you what's going on later on. But essentially, then I figured, oh, I'm going to Austria to work. Because I figured I want to make some more money. Yes. And I went, although it was a decision that I didn't really want to make necessarily, if that makes sense. It's not a decision I took lightly because I know I still have my family. I want to be able to support them and everything else, but the thing that epitomizes why I wanted to do so and why I now want to, because I'll get to another individual later, why I really want to focus in on my content creation, my videos, my everything. Again, it's no secret I have like an XXX themed account as well, okay? I mean, pretty much everyone knows that. Everyone in my workplace knew that, although they conveniently forgot. Regardless, thing is, there was this, the reason why I wanted to come here could be epitomized by one guy at the workplace. Again, nothing against the guy. Because, like, he's Joe Schmo. Let's call him Joe Schmo. Again, out of respect, because I don't want to dox the guy or something. Okay, plus because I can't remember the guy's name, and I guess it's a professional defect. Regardless, basically, he's the salt-of-the-earth normal guy, right? He doesn't know, he's not particularly good with languages, doesn't know computers, doesn't know phones, or anything like that. However, what he does know is his hands, right? He knows his hands. He knows how to fix things. As I said, salt of the earth, down to earth kind of guy. Unlike me, a talentless hack who spends all the day on her phone. But the thing about it is that the talentless hack, unlike myself, who's a talentless hack, he's only he's only quote value, if I can describe it in those terms, is his strength. And yeah, there's not a lot of muscle on me because, yeah, I can like recap my ribs. So yeah, it's his strength, and I'm really pathetically weak, to be honest. Plus, I tend to smoke too much and I fried my lungs, so I can't really do anything when it's too hot. Again, but it's not just the physical strength side of things. He actually knows how to handle like tools and stuff and everything else. Again, a common sense kind of guy. Here's the thing though. What is the value of this man's work, right? The value of his work is pure muscle. By that meaning, the only value he provides is how strong he is, which was put to the test when we had like these massive umbrellas. I don't know if you know, like the parasols. We have because like the layout was kind of like a terrace, where it was outside near the seaside, like literally not 2 feet from the sea, not was what 2-3 feet from the actual sea, behind a small wall. And unsurprisingly, when the wind started kicking up, what happened was that these things were tossed about, were moved, etc. And guess what? Someone had to move them. Now, no one told him to do it, but the guy essentially volunteered himself to carry that thing, because there's no chance in hell that I could. Again, that's how I got out of it. Thing is, he did one. Just one, alone. 2 minutes later, once he was done, he was like, my back, my back, my back, my back. 2 minutes after, he goes inside. 2 minutes later, I go inside as well. He's squirming on the floor like a cockroach being defiled by a particularly sadistic child. Well, what happened? He blew out his back. Because these things are made of solid wood, they weigh a fuck ton, and you need 2 people to move them. Now, no one directly told him, move it. But it was like, but it's like the environmental pressure and everything. But the thing is, after that, he's done. He may be common sense. He may be salt of the earth. He may know things that I, a useless hack, do not. He may have skills that I do not. But once his muscles go, he's rubbish. At the end of the day, he becomes useless rubbish. And that's the only truth there is to it. So, to which end, I decided to, well, try my... So I figured once my time is up, I'd use what I have left, because in the meantime, again, there's someone I will speak ill of, a certain gambler who managed to steal one phone and my MacBook and my phone, I found a phone, irrelevant. But generally speaking, managed to steal stuff so he could continue gambling. No problem, I have my iPhone. I can still work on that. I can edit my videos. I can shoot things. Again, here's a photo. This was my phone. Now you be the judge of that. But again, I have a Windows machine with a crapped out HDD. I need to take care of that so I can still continue working. But the thing is, how much value do you provide? How much is your work valuable? I'm not talking in terms of kunas, dollars, euros, pesos, rubles, whatever currency you want to use. Hell, use gold coins if you wanna. But how much is it worth in terms of real world value? How many loaves of bread can you purchase for an hour of work? Line of question. How many coffees can you purchase? Can you, I don't know, how much electricity is it worth? I'm talking about real world scenarios here. Turns out that such quote-unquote common sense guys are basically valueless. Outside a few specific scenarios where basically, outside of like oil rig workers and whatnot, who get paid a shitload of money, these kind of skill sets are absolutely valueless. Because, yeah. And to which end, I really want to get out of looks like I'll be forced back into a vanilla job of some description. But I'll do my best. First off, then again, it's my hometown. The odds of me actually finding a vanilla job are slim to none, to be damned honest. I'll do better with like resetting my computer, getting a remote job, so I can like literally chill out at my desk and work and make money that way. But it's not about so much the money, more like the value of one's work. I could earn more value for my work that way, especially working remote abroad, because I can handle everything from video editing to shooting, perhaps even web design. I don't know, I can try. And everything else, or like marketing, social media stuff. These things are valuable today. And of course it takes, it's a grind to actually get anywhere with it, of course. But at the end of the day, it can earn you more than actual physical labor. So again, it's the career I'm choosing to pursue because, well, it's simply, plus it's also a social thing. because it gives because like the work, like these kind of labor conditions, like at the seaside. Again, I'm not sorting out my ex-employer because I got nothing but I can mostly have praise for the guy. But the thing is, you're working like 14 hours a day. You're working 14 hours a day for a total the entire year. What you'll earn is like 4,000 euros. Again, it's not so much about the money, but rather the amount of time you spend working and what you get for it. Again, he's not the only one, and in fact, my paycheck was higher than anticipated. I was paid more than the average for that one, and I was still paid nothing. If you get the point. Again, for Croatia, this was a lot. For anywhere else, it's worthless, essentially. If you go anywhere else, that's basically worthless, as this is clearly demonstrated. Now, since the guy still owes me like half my paycheck, I unfortunately had to cut my like Vienna stint a tad bit short, unfortunately, and had to return home. And speaking of home, I can't wait to actually do so. Because like the only reason I actually went is because I want to be able to improve both for myself and my sisters. I'm the eldest in the family. Yes, I know. Yes, I know what the reaction is going to be. But yeah, I'm the eldest in the family, and I want to be able to, despite, well, me growing tits, obviously, I still want, since I'm the eldest sibling, I still want to be able to help, like, my sister, my mom, my granny, and everyone else. But of what help, other than, like, direct, once again, physical labor, which, again, is help by itself, of what help could it possibly be if I can't work, if I can't do anything? So I opted to see, okay, if nothing else, then I just go to the, pack my ass up on a bus to Austria and call and see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I'm still, keep in mind, I'm still within my safety boundaries, and I can still like go today and still have enough to like sustain myself for a while until I find another job. So I'm not stupid, obviously, because I keep fail-safes on fail-safes on fail-safes, but it was still worth a try. And when I did finally arrive here, I'll still remember there was like a few days ago, there's something I still remember. There was this one gentleman from actually the UAE. So yes, I did meet the famous man from Dubai. There was this particular gentleman, again, no names mentioned for obvious reasons, but there's something he said that really kind of struck a chord. Something that really got me thinking about the whole situation and everything else. Again, he has his own company. Again, it's not my obvious expertise, but he got me thinking that he said that if today companies don't hire based on your diplomas, but rather based on your skills. In other words, if you can improve the company, they'll hire you. If you'll be a drag on the company, they'll throw you off. If you're gonna be a drag on a company, they'll simply throw you off, right? There's no reason for them to keep you, actually. Which got me thinking, even though like his company, his area of expertise is nothing to do with me whatsoever, it really got me thinking about like my content and everything else that I actually know how to both love doing and actually know how to do, you know? So I really decided that in addition to, well, me obviously having to go home and this, again, it'll be slightly more difficult at home, but I really want to pursue like my content career in one shape or form, or in some way, shape or form, to make something out of it. There's a variety of things I like to do. It's range from literal, I mean, just look at my channel. This could range from literal Minecraft to maybe to even like film reviews or like commentary or plenty of things, to even like adult videos. It's not exactly secret. Everyone because well, seriously, like people at my old workplace knew and I got teased a bit for it. Though to be honest, I didn't mind. But regardless, it's still work. Everything's but it's still skill, it's still video editing. Just to point out, okay, this is like a commentary video, so it's gonna be like a few cuts here and there, but not much. But just to show what I mean, there was you saw the difference when you know what you're doing and when you don't. I remember there was this, again, there was like the YouTuber who basically decided to go and review to the runty bastard at B-Boss, essentially, but the girl he was with was basically just flailing around the stupid GoPro like it was a fucking baseball. On another occasion, there was like, it's also at the seaside, there was like, they were shooting a music video. No, a literal music video. Again, these weren't some random Andes who were like looking around at this. Oh look, there's a pretty church. Oh look, there's a pretty street. Oh look, there's a pretty square. No, these were some rando Andes. These were like this was an official music video. Granted, the guy did have an actual gimbal with him, but literally the shoot was one take and call it a day. They did one take. The scene I saw was literally one take, and the rest of the time they spent bubbling around the place looking for where they're gonna go next. Do you know how much I take for my videos? Just a few seconds, I don't remember one of my, because it's kind of easy to pull off, it's kind of like the upskirt stairs shot. Now, these shots usually last like a second or two. Like there's but depending on the length of it, this means you're gonna have to take the camera and this little tripod, place it at the base of the stairs, go up the stairs, like literally go like halfway or like 80% up the stairs, go back, retrieve the camera, then redo the walk, and then go back and retrieve the camera, put it on top, and then walk. Then you splice it all together, and you get your video. That could be 3 to 4 takes. For one, just for one shot. 3 to 4 takes, one shot. These people, including the one wedding photographer, so later on, did everything in one shot. I'm doing literally walking up the stairs in 3 shots, unless it's like streaming. I'm doing like walking up the stairs is 3 shots. These people who are paid, keep in mind, these aren't tourists. These people are paid money, good money. These people pay good money, and they're like basically just, oh, let's check one take, good enough for me. On another occasion, I saw a wedding photographer who was literally just walking behind. Imagine this is a DSLR for a second. Who was literally walking like this behind the bride and groom the entire time, and that's it. Seriously, that's all he did. These people are paid money to do their jobs, and it's absolute shite. That's what I'm talking about. People oftentimes simply don't know what they're doing. Even people who are paid well oftentimes don't know. And that's where, now, even though I myself may have little to no practical skills, this is the kind of stuff I actually know how to do. I know how to take even like photography and stuff. You can like look at like total random people won't know how to take like a good Instagram photo. Yes, I know it's Instagram, and yes, I know. I mean, okay, I love my Instagram, and Instagram, by the way, handle right here. But again, people really oftentimes simply don't know how to take photos or videos or anything. Where the general logic seems to be to shite it out as fast as possible and call it a day. And yeah, and since obviously, but this is the market I actually want to break into, because I know I can do it. I've done it for myself multiple times. I love editing, I love shooting, I love my videos, I love my photos. It's what I know how to do, it's what I love to do. I mean, I think my links are easy enough to find. You'll find that my stuff is way more edited than the usual. Again, this is kind of like an update video, so it's not going to be too much editing other than a few insights here and there, but that's about it. But when I'm actually doing an actual video, like seriously, and not just randomly screen recording my Minecraft playthrough, I actually love to put an effort to my videos. I want to make my videos better than the last time. Each time I want to outdo myself with the videos. And that's what matters to me. Because at the end of the day, I don't take my audience for granted. There's something that, again, this is something that for content creators, I know, like, not content consumers, but content creators. It's something that content creators oftentimes lose sight of, either lose sight of or don't understand. Your audience, you who is watching this, okay, all 6 of you at the moment, but I'll branch it off to like my various followers elsewhere. But basically, your audience isn't for granted. You can't take for granted people are going to watch you. There's only so many hours in a day, and people simply don't have time to watch everything. And if people choose to watch your content, or my content, or anyone's content, that's an honor. You have to really consider that that's really an honor to be able to to be deemed worthy of. Because oftentimes when it comes to like creators, people who want to get into content creation, they'll think that they'll just make something and call it a day, right? Because I'll make this video, it will get 100,000 views. Okay, let's be more real. If I get 100 views in this video, I'll be extra lucky. And I have to push it to all my followers elsewhere as well. But the bottom line is that every viewer is valuable. Every person who chooses to watch you is valuable. You can't take them for granted. And it's something that most people simply don't understand. I mean, many people, like, say the wedding photographer takes it for granted. For instance, the lady filming takes it for granted. The lady with the golf GoPro takes it for granted that she's going to be there with the GoPro. The guy makes his video, basically does not care whether the thing looks like an old Android, whether it looks like something that came out of an old Android phone, whether the exposure is basically blowing out constantly. He doesn't care. The man doesn't give a toss. He doesn't give a toss whether how bad his video actually is, as long as he pumps out a video. Because he expects that he's going to get some views because he's him. Obviously. So yeah. Also, yeah, those are actually real. Check this out. I'm so happy I got these. These are actually growing, so now I can actually wear this. Because, like, I remember this is, for me personally, this is, like, unimaginable. I mean, like, if you look at some of my photos and everything else, like, looking back on it, like, 10 years ago, yes, I'm, like, almost pushing 30, and, not the point. But, like, if you told me 10 years ago that I would be making content that I do today, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have known anything about that. I learned. I tried years on end, I tried. I did my best the entire time, and I made what I made, and I'm looking to make way more than this. This includes, I'm looking to, like, branch off again, because, like, in my favorite games, at least what I have on my phone, it's like Minecraft. I can make, like, Minecraft content amongst other details. That is until I can get my hands on, like, get my PC rolling properly for, like, old school stuff, like maybe Doom, Duke, you know, the usual old FPSs before the modern rubbish came out. Before, like, the modern rubbish came out and ruined everything with multiplayer only. Does anyone still remember when Call of Duty used to be not shite? Anyways, thank you so much. I don't know how long this video is going to be once I finish it, but thank you so much for your attention. Hope to see you soon. I'll be putting out more videos. I have like more coming out on my adult site coming out. I've also I'll put my socials down in the description. Everything from like my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it, I have it. Or, just Google my username. I trust I'm infamous enough.